Okay, so let's start our keyword research for our app development lead generation site. So first things first, we want to use the Google AdWords keyword tool. You can just Google keyword tool and it's usually the first result. This is the de facto tool used for keyword research by the SEO industry. There are a number of other tools you can use, but this is sort of the standard, or at least where you should start. First things first, you always want to come in and uncheck broad match and check exact match. If you leave broad match selected, it's going to give you some really inflated traffic data. We have our location set to the US in English and devices as desktops and laptops by default. We're going to change this to all countries for this one. Desktops and laptops should be fine. And so let's just do the capture. And so let's start. I really like to start with a really broad net. So just some very generic terms. So let's try app developers, iPhone app developers, Android app developers, iPad app developers, and maybe BlackBerry app developers. So we'll click search and see what we got. And so what the Google AdWords keyword tool does here is it first lists all of the keywords you've typed in. It shows you those. It shows you a little bit of data here. And then down below it gives you usually 100 keyword ideas based on what you typed in. So let's take a look first at everything we typed in. You'll see here the first row, the first column is competition. Remember, this is the Google AdWords keyword tool. So this is designed for SEM. So when we're looking at these phrases from an SEO point of view, you can ignore competition. We have global searches here and local. So in this case, because remember we set our region to global, they're going to be the same. So let's select all of these because that's all our market, and you'll see they're selected down here. And now here's where we can start taking a look at some of the recommendations they gave us. And one of the most important things you want to consider when you're doing keyword research is searcher intent. You really want to try and get into the head of the person doing the search. Now that being said, we can't always know what people are searching for, and in addition to that, sometimes it's mixed. So, for example, the difference between iPhone app developers and iPhone app development could be substantial. My bias is that development probably has a large number of people that are looking for app development companies for sure, but could also be developers, people looking to get into development, people trying to learn. And so the market might be a little bit too watered down for us. Again, you really have to define your target market. So in this case, we're looking for people that are interested in app developers, right? They want to find an app development company. They want to pay them. They're not looking to learn it. So in this particular situation, I want to ignore keywords with development because I think there's going to be too many searchers that are looking for tutorials and walkthroughs and things like that. But I think developers, right? People looking for developers could be our market. So let's skip development. So we have developer, Android apps developer, mobile app developers, skipping development, mobile app developer. So here's an interesting one, iPhone app development cost. One thing I really love to do when I'm doing keyword research is I love to use keyword research as a driver for content creation. So someone here who's typing in iPhone app development cost, maybe they're not quite ready to approach an app developer yet, right? Maybe they're a little further up in the funnel. That being said, it doesn't mean we can't create great content around this. So we see here iPhone app development costs being searched for 590 times a month. So maybe we could create an awesome blog post about how much an iPhone app usually costs, maybe what it costs based on what part of the country or the world you're in. Maybe it could include price differences based on the type of app or the type of functionality you're embedding in the app. So anytime I see something where maybe it's not our target market, but it's a great idea for content creation, I like to keep it. So let's keep that. Development tutorial again, probably people interested in learning it themselves, so that's not our market. So anything with costs we're going to keep now based on that reasoning we talked about earlier. Apple app developer, mobile apps development, no. iPhone app developer. So anything with developer we're going to keep. No Facebook app. Development, Android app developer. App development companies. So now here's another sort of line of thinking that we've discovered. Anything related to companies. In general, I like phrases that have the word company because I've found that oftentimes the searcher intent is a little bit more commercial in nature. When people are typing in companies, they're generally ready to pay, right? So they're in the commercial research phase, and I really like it because it's usually more inducive to someone ready to buy something. So anything with company or companies is great. Development we're ignoring, costs we're keeping, app developer. Development tools. Okay. And so one thing you want to watch out for is Google will default you to 50 results. You want to come up here and set it to 100. So we did the first 50. So let's keep going. iPad apps for developers. No, that's not our market. Tutorial cost we're keeping. Developer we're keeping. iPad app development costs. BlackBerry app developer. Anything with company we're going to keep. Make iPhone app. Probably not us. Company we're going to keep. Google Android app developer. When you do keyword research, it's interesting because you really start to see phrases that you might not have inherently thought people would be typing in. Best iPhone apps. No, we're going to skip that for now. How to develop iPad apps. Let's see, development. App development. Android app developers for hire. So this is, I really want to point this out, as this is an important piece of keyword research. So we see here, we have a pretty low volume every month, 91, but this is exactly our target market. Someone typing in Android app developers for hire, they probably have an app idea, they're looking for a company. This is very, very specific to what we're trying to do, so this is a great keyword. Developer we're going to keep. Anything with company we're going to keep. Hire Android app developer. Yep, that hire word is great, so we want to make a note of that and maybe try a few more variations of it. iPhone app development companies. iPhone application development company. Okay, cool. So we went through the 100. We see here that that we have a bunch selected, so we have 32 ideas selected. So I like to come up here and click View Text, My Keyword Ideas, so you see them all. You can copy this. And then we come back in here, highlight all this and delete it, and paste them in. And we search again. So now, Google's going to take the 32 keywords we gave them. It lists them all here, so we have that in a nice list. And now we have another 100 recommendations based on what we've typed in. So at this point, we could stop if we wanted to. It really is your preference. I usually like to run through this 2 or 3 times because you really start to get some awesome recommendations once you hone in on the keywords that are very specific to you. So we have these 32 we punched in. It's giving us another 100. So let's go through it again. iPad app developer. App development costs. Again, more content ideas. Again, we're skipping everything with development because we think the searchers could probably be looking for tutorials or trying to make apps themselves. So it might not necessarily be our market. Mobile app development companies. App developer Android. Google app developers. That's could be our market, but it's a little broad, so we're going to skip it for now. Android app development companies. Mobile application development company. Mobile application development companies. iPhone development company. App Developers UK, so that's an interesting sort of line of thinking that we should make a note of, is App Developers name of city or App Developers name of country. This particular site's going to be geographically agnostic, so we can skip anything with a location-based phrase in it. Application Development Company is probably too broad, actually, now that we think about it, because they haven't mentioned the platform. Application could be a lot of different things. We'll skip that for now. Looks like there's a lot of ones based on tutorials and people trying to learn how to create apps. It might be worth noting. Could be some content creation ideas. It's a little over my head, so we're going to skip that for now. Mobile apps development. Android application developer. Mobile development company. That could be, yeah, that might be a little broad, but we'll keep it for now. It's fairly aligned. Android developer. iPhone app developers London. No, we'll skip that. iPhone app developers for hire. Again, this is exactly what I'm talking about, what I mentioned previously. The volume is low, right, especially relative to Android developer, right? That's just outrageous. 74,000 a month. That's actually probably too broad now that I think about it. But this is exactly our market. People looking for an app developer and they're ready to pay. And that's noted in, you can see in this part of the query, for hire, right? So again, lower volume, but very specific to our market. So we like that keyword a lot. iPhone apps development companies. You'll learn also how people sort of misspell things and the kind of quirky ways they search sometimes when you do this. It can be really funny sometimes too. iPhone game developer. Another interesting thing to think about is when you see some of these queries, sometimes you can see the level of understanding they might have, right? Some people type in iPhone, but a more savvy person might type iOS. Some people might type app versus game. So you often want to think about that, think about the searcher intent, but think about how you create content around those phrases as well. iPhone app developer cost. Okay. Cool. So now we're up to 48. We have 48 keywords. So we have everything we said before and then the bunch that we just got from the last round. So we'll go in and copy them all. Go and delete these and paste them back in. And it's the same thing. And again, you can do this 1 time, 2 times, or 1,000,000 times, but it's the same process, right? So now we have the 48 keywords we typed in. It's going to let us keep those, and then it's going to give us more recommendations. And we'll do it one more time just to see what we can get. Mobile apps developer. Interesting one. Cross-platform mobile app development. So that's interesting. Prior to doing this, I was thinking, okay, it's going to be segmented into Android, iPhone, BlackBerry, maybe iPad, maybe a couple more different tablets. But then there's a whole other market of people typing in variations on cross-platform, right? So someone who wants an app on a number of different platforms. So that's an interesting note. iPhone app developer for hire. Hire iPhone app developer. Application development company, too broad. iPhone application developer. Mobile applications developer, mobile apps development company, hire iPhone developer. Again, we love that hire keyword. iPhone app development services. So services and company are sort of the same line of thought. So we might be able to make some content around that. Mobile application development services. Mobile developer. Mobile apps developers. Cool. So we have 60 ideas. So we can view it all. Again, copy. We'll throw it back in here. We hit search. And it's going to give us our 60 terms. So again, you can do this as long as you want, as long as you're comfortable. I'm going to stop for now. I go up to the download button and I download my keyword ideas. Download in CSV for Excel. So then we have our keyword ideas. We can open this up, and I like to save it to the desktop. And so, first things first, because competition is for AdWords, it's an SEM thing, I usually delete these. And global and local are the same in this situation, so we can delete one of these columns as well. I come up to sort and filter, just throw an easy filter on there, sort largest to smallest, and there we have it. We have our 60 most frequently searched phrases in the order that they're searched. Again, Android developer was way out there, so we'll probably remove that. That's a little bit too broad. Save it again, and there we have it. There's our keyword research.